Request everyone to please be seated.
Who is coming there?
It was dissolved when found.
Somebody may be coming. ಅದು ನಾಲ್ಕಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಹೇಳ
Good evening, respected chief guest for today's ceremony, Professor Dr. C. Basvaraju, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Karnataka State Law University, Professor Dr. V. Vijay Kumar, former Vice Chancellor, NLIU Bhopal, Advisor and Professor of Eminence, School of Law, Ramaya University of Applied Sciences, Bengaluru. Today's guests of honors, Senior Professor Dr. Suresh V. Nadagaudar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Acting and Registrar, KSR DPR University, Gadag. Sri Ramesh Babu P, Syndicate Member, Bangalore University. Senior Professor Dr. V. Sudesh, Dean, Faculty of Law. Professor Dr. N. Dashrath, Principal, University Law College and DOS in Law. Professor Dr. Satish Gowda N, Chairman, University Law College and DOS in Law. Professor Dr. Jyoti Vishwanath, Professor, University Law College and DOS in Law. All distinguished guests, faculty members, paper presenters, participants and students. I, Shruti Prabhakar, take it as a matter of immense pride to host you all this evening on behalf of University Law College, extend a warm welcome to you to the valedictory ceremony of the two-day international conference on 75 years of governance under the Indian Constitution, practices and experiences. Let us invoke the blessings of the Almighty as we begin this ceremony. I request Ms. Dhanyashri from second year BLLB to kindly lead us through the prayer.
गजवदना भेडुवे गौरी तनया गजवदना भेडुवे गौरी तनया त्रिजगवंदितने सृजनर पोरेवने गजवदना भेडुवे पाशांकुशधर परम पवित्र मूषकवाहना मुनिजन प्रेमा गजवदना भेडुवे गौरी तनया त्रिजगवंदितने सृजनर पोरेवने गजवदना भेडुवे मोदದಿ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಪಾದವ ತೋರೋ ಸಾಧು ವಂದಿತನೆ ಆದರದಿಂದಲಿ ಮೋದದಿ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಪಾದವ ತೋರೋ ಸಾಧು ವಂದಿತನೆ ಆದರದಿಂದಲಿ ಸರಸಿ ಜನಾಭ ಶ್ರೀ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ನಿರುತನೆಯುವಂತೆ ದಯ ಮಾಡಿಸಲಹೋ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಗೌರಿ ತನಯ ತ್ರಿಜಗವಂದಿತನೆ ಸೃಜನರ ಪೋರೆವನೆ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ.
Thank you, Dhanashri. I invite Professor Dr. Satish Gowda N, Chief Convener of the International Conference, to deliver the welcome address and to appraise us with a detailed account of the conference by presenting the conference report.
Good evening all. Respected dignitaries, honored of the dais, members of the syndicate, academic council, dean, faculty, chairpersons of different departments, members of teaching and non-teaching faculty, distinguished invitees, principals, members of faculty, members of all departments, students, members of the media, and ladies and gentlemen. University Law College, Department of Studies in Law, Bangalore City, takes immense pleasure to welcome you all to this valedictory program of today, International Conference on 75 years of governance under the Constitution, practices and experiences. The last 2 days brought together students, academicians and intellectuals from legal and non-legal field to deliberate on the practices and experiences of governance under the Constitution. It was the endeavor of this international conference to introspect the journey we have traveled as a nation under the guiding light of our Constitution and to discuss a way forward. The inauguration of two-day international conference on 20th December was graced by Honorable Mr. Justice Krishna S. Dikshit, Judge High Court of Karnataka, who delivered the inaugural address, sharing profound insights into the evolution of constitutional governance and its impact on legal and societal landscape of India. Adding depth to the discussion, the keynote address was presented by Professor Dr. R. Venkatrao, Vice Chancellor of India International University of Legal Education and Research, Goa, who emphasized on dynamic interpretation and challenges of constitutional governance in contemporary times. Further contributions were made Professor Dr. V. Sudesh, Dean Faculty of Law at Bangalore City, and Professor Dr. N. Dashrath, Principal, University Law College, who reflected on institutions' role fostering constitutional awareness and academic inquiry. Professor Dr. Anmantapayam, Nodal Officer PM Musha at Bangalore City, highlighted initiatives that align with the principles of governance under Indian Constitution. The event concluded with a presidential address by Professor Dr. Jaikar Shetty, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Bangalore City, who provided an overreaching perspective on the importance of such academic discourses. A highlight of the session was the release of Book of Abstract containing forward from Honorable Minister of Chief Minister of Karnataka, Sri Siddhamaya, and Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Sudhakar sir, is a compilation of scholarly contribution from 107 participants that encapsulate the themes and ideas to be discussed during the conference. The inaugural session set a strong foundation for the discussion and deliberations to follow. The online technical session of the two-day international conference of 78 governance under the Indian Constitution featured presentation across diverse themes chaired by eminent academicians and scholars, Dr. Anish V. Pallai, Professor Dr. Suresh Benjamin, Dr. Maruti, Dr. Rajendra Prasad Ittanigi and Valarmati presided over a session on topics ranging from constitution ideals, corporate laws, digitalization, sustainable development goals, labor rights, and the criminal justice system. The presentations covered critical subjects as judicial activism, the Uniform Civil Code, climate change, labor rights, and advancements in the forensic science, offering a comprehensive analysis of constitutional principles in practice. The second of the two-day international conference featured a plenary session on Liberties and Limits, Constitution Perspectives, chaired by Professor Dr. C.S. Patil, Director Kilpa, who, while emphasizing on the importance of liberty, cautioned that liberty must be curtailed in the interest of liberty itself. Professor Dr. G.B. Reddy, Senior Professor of Law, Osmania University, Hyderabad, highlighted the judicial role in protecting the right to life and personal liberty through landmark judgment. He appreciated the role played by the judiciary in upholding personal liberty. Professor Dr. P. Puneeth, Professor Center for the Study of Law and Governance, Jawaharlal Nehru University, discussed the balance between individual privacy and national security, emphasizing on the need for a robust judicial review with the highest standard of scrutiny. Then Professor Dr. Van Rosley, Faculty School of Law, University of Bradford, United Kingdom, explored the transformative role of artificial intelligence in safeguarding individual liberties. The session fostered engaging discussion and underscored the importance of continued research on balancing constitutional rights and responsibility in a dynamic world. The second plenary session of the international conference, chaired by Senior Professor Dr. V. Sudesh, Dean Faculty of Law, Bangalore City, focused on the theme Center-State Relations Changing Patterns. The session featured insightful presentation from Professor Dr. V. Vijay Kumar sir, Professor Dr. Sandeep Shastri sir, and Professor Dr. Christian Anthony Complex sir, each offering unique perspective on evolving nature of center-state relations in India's federal structure and amidst globalization. Professor Vijay Kumar discussed the impact of globalization on center-state relations, emphasizing the need for integrating while preserving federal principles. Professor Sandeep Shastri advocated for a model of cooperative federalism with elements of competition to foster innovation and efficiency. Professor Christian Complex brought an international dimension by examining the role of human dignity in the Indian Constitution and its relevance to the governance at both center and state levels. The session highlighted the importance of adaptable governance framework that respect federal principles, collaborative approaches, and need for effective governance in the globalized world. The second day of the conference also witnessed another round technical session which were held on campus and explored diverse constitutional themes under the guidance of distinguished chairperson. The session on labor laws, chaired by Professor Dr. N. Dashrath, Principal, University Law College, highlighted the plight of unorganized workers and gig laborers, calling reforms to uphold socio-economic justice in alignment with constitutional commitments. Professor Dr. Jyoti Vishwanath presided over insight into corporate governance and intellectual property, emphasizing ethical practice and adaptability to digital advancement. Chaired by Professor Umamesh Satyanarayan from Ramaya School of Law. On criminal justice explored artificial intelligence transformative potential, the POCSO Act and extradition delays. Under Dr. Anita M. Justlegi guidance, the digitalization session addressed data protection, cyber security and digital privacy challenges within constitution framework. Professor Dr. S. Y. Surendra Kumar concluded with sustainable development, emphasizing the role constitution principles in healthcare, environment conservation, and education as tool for achieving inclusive growth and resilience. Discussion on constitution idea led by Dr. Manoj Kumar Hiramat and Dr. Vishnu Prasad are respectively emphasized the enduring relevance of constitution principles in addressing contemporary issues. The diversity of topics and interdisciplinary approaches presented during the sessions held across 2 days underscored the Indian Constitution adaptability and role in shaping governance. The research paper highlighted gaps in policy, proposed innovative solutions, and explored uncharted territories such as artificial intelligence in legal processes and the right to a healthy environment. This discussion not only enriched academic discourse but also laid a strong foundation for further research in legal, societal, and technological context. The conference succeeded in fostering meaningful dialogue, inspiring legal scholars, and emphasizing the Constitution enduring significance in addressing contemporary challenges. That the last 2 days of enriching and active presentation discussion showcase the success that international conference has been, and we sincerely hope that all the participants take away from research and experiences shared by their fellow presenters and the experienced panelists and resource person. Now it's my proud privilege to welcome all the dignitaries for today's international conference. We are privileged to have distinguished chief guest and constitutional expert and my teacher, Professor Dr. C. Basvaraju sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Karnataka State Law University, Hubli. Professor Dr. C. Basvaraju sir is presently working as Vice Chancellor in Karnataka State Law University. He was also a ex-Vice Chancellor, former Registrar, Syndicate Member of Academic Council Member in the University of Mysore, and former Registrar Evaluation in Karnataka State, Dr. Gangubai Angal. Sir has served as a Chairman, Director, Dean, Department of Law, University of Mysore, and started his academic career as a law teacher in the prestigious institute called National Law School of India, University of Bangalore in 1995. Later, he became professor in the Department of Law and Research, University of Mysore. He has made his contribution to the field of law through publishing 125 research papers in both national and international academic journals. He has published 4 books which are more significant for the legal profession and academia. He has presented 175 research papers at both national and international conferences. He has produced successfully 18 PhD candidates, including me. Sir has received SSV Sadhaka Award 2011, Best Citizen Award 2012, National Integration Award 2015, and RTI Awareness Award 2015. As someone who has had the opportunity of being guided by Sir in my PhD journey, I am thankful to him for always encouraging and supporting young and aspiring legal minds. Sir, I, on behalf of University Law College Bangalore City, extend a warm and cordial welcome to you for accepting our invitation to deliver valedictory address. We are privileged to have another distinguished chief guest and today's resource person and constitution expert, Professor Dr. V. Vijay Kumar sir, advisor, professor of eminence, School of Law, Ramaya University of Applied Science, Bengaluru, has held important position as Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu, Dr. Ambedkar Law University and the National Law Institute, University, Bhopal. He has been and is closely associated with various committees constituted by University Grant Commission, NAC and Bar Council of India, and also been the member of Executive Committee, Vice President, President of the Consortium of National Universities. Sir has represented India at several prestigious international forums and is also the recipient of several awards for his outstanding contribution to the legal field. On behalf of University Law College, sir, I extend hearty welcome to you, sir. I humbly invite our beloved well-wisher, Senior Professor Suresh V. Nadagowda, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Acting Vice Chancellor, and Registrar, Karnataka State Rural Development Panchayat University, Gadag, and former Principal, Chairman, and Dean Faculty of Law, for encouraging and supporting in organizing this event. Sir, I extend a warm welcome for your blessing dedication as a guest of honor. We are extremely happy to, in the absence here, I also welcome the Registrar of Bangalore City, Sri Sheikh Latif, KS officer, who is a successful and able administrator. we should be very grateful to our registrar for extending all support, guidance and encouragement and help and cooperation in organizing this event and gracing the occasion. In addition, I cordially invite Sri Ramesh Babu P. Sir, Syndicate Member, Bangalore City, and today's guest of honor to this function. A warm welcome to you, sir, for gracing the occasion. I humbly invite Senior Professor Dr. V. Suresh Sir, Dean Faculty of Law, University Law College, who helped, supported, and guided us in organizing this event. Sir, I extend warm welcome to you for gracing the occasion. And I also welcome Professor Dr. N. Dashrath Sir, Principal, University Law College, who has constantly encouraged, helped us in organizing this event. And I extend a warm and cordial welcome to you, sir, for gracing the occasion to deliver presidential remarks. I welcome Venkategowda sir, former Assistant Commissioner, Commercial Tax Officer, and I.D. Biradar, Special Officer from Karnataka State Law University to this function. We are fortunate to have syndicate and academic council members, deans, chairmen, various department principals on this occasion. I welcome them all to this program. I welcome our colleagues, Professor Dr. Jyoti Vishnath and Dr. Chandrakanti in absentia, then Dr. Rajini Madam, librarian, to this wonderful event. I welcome all teaching faculty of Bangalore City, students, guest faculty, research scholars who are present here on this occasion. The program wouldn't have been a success without the presence and participation by all the paper presenters, faculty members of all departments and students. So once again, I welcome them to this program. I welcome and thank non-teaching staff for helping us in organizing this event. Special welcome to all our LLB, LLM and research scholars for taking part in this program and to grace this function continuously yesterday and today. I welcome all the invitees, distinguished guests, all representatives of print and electronic media to this program. Once again, I wish to extend my hearty welcome to everyone who is present at this event and everyone for enabling us to organize this international conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. After obtaining his master's degree in English literature, Professor Dr. C. Basvaraju sir completed his studies in law from the University of Mysore. He started his teaching career in 1995 from National Law School of India University and worked as a lecturer in University Law College, Karnataka University, Dharwad, and later in University of Mysore. Sir took charge as a Vice Chancellor of Karnataka State Law University in 2022. Ever since his students' days, Sir committed himself towards social cause of the society and has been fighting for the cause of social justice for all, and in particular the weaker and the vulnerable sections of the society. As a law teacher, he is known for his commitment, honesty, integrity, and dedication towards his profession. Over the years, Sir has worked as a chairman and member of many statutory bodies, including Board of Studies, Board of Examinations, PhD Regulations Committee, to name a few. He is a recipient of several awards, and his contribution in the field of law is immense, which is showcased in the over 100 articles and books published under his name. On invitation, Sir has visited several universities abroad, including the Jagiellonian University, Krakow, Poland, Anglia Ruskin University, United Kingdom, and has also visited the Supreme Court of Bhutan and held deliberations with the Justice of the High Court and the Supreme Court of Bhutan. It is indeed my privilege to invite Professor Dr. C. Basvaraju sir to the dais to deliver the valedictory address.
Good evening to one and all. Distinguished guests of this evening function, valedictory function, and my mentor, Professor Dr. V. Vijay Kumar, former Vice Chancellor of NLIU Bhopal, in-charge Vice Chancellor and a good friend of mine, Professor Dr. Suresh Nadgowda, Dean Faculty of Law Bangalore University, and my friend Professor Dr. V. Sudesh, Principal of this college, and a good friend of mine, Professor Dashrath, Syndicate member of this university, Sri Ramesh Babu, Head of the Department of this college and the department, Professor Satish Gowda, all the colleagues, participants, students, research scholars, invitees, members from media, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I congratulate the organizers of this 2 days international program conference on 75th years of governance under the Indian Constitution, practices and experiences. The moment I said 75 years of governance under the Indian Constitution, number of issues automatically rise to our minds, whether the Constitution of India, which has travelled for 75 years from 1950 to till today, have we made any substantial changes in the entire operation of the constitutional provisions and the constitutional culture? I am always reminded of the basic issues of the Indian Constitution, which has travelled for 75 years. This is a question which is not posed by any ordinary people. This is a question posed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. When the draft constitution was submitted before the Constituent Assembly, the first question which was raised in the Constituent Assembly was whether this draft constitution submitted, is it going to be fructified in the Indian scenario or Indian culture over a period of time. Dr. Ambedkar said, in the Constitution of India, we have made a specific provision for achieving the political democracy. But certainly, we have not been able to achieve social and economic democracy. But look at the preamble of the Indian Constitution. The preamble of the Indian Constitution, which speaks about ensuring socio-economic and political democracy. But let us introspect ourselves. What has transpired for 17 years, 75 years, all these years? Whether economic democracy has been achieved vis-a-vis the social democracy. When we look into Article 17 of the Indian Constitution, plethora of debates are still going on at various international and national platforms. Whether Article 17 of the Indian Constitution, that is abolition of untouchability, has it been completely abolished? Or whether it still exists in the Indian society? We might have achieved various developments in the center-state relationship. We might have achieved developments in the bringing number of amendments to the various provisions, ensuring security and safety to the people. We might have achieved in ensuring public services to the people of this country. But what transpires to us is, have we achieved the preambular objectives of the Indian Constitution? But also in almost all forums. Yes, we have traveled 75 years. But in the 75 years, the constitutional makers, what they thought of regarding the constitutional values, have they been fructified? Have they been achieved? If we have not achieved, then what is that we are talking about the development of the constitution all these 75 years? The preambular objective of the Constitution of India is equality. Have we achieved equality in the Indian scenario? We have various provisions of the Constitution of India which speaks about equality, which abolishes discrimination, which abolishes exploitation, which ensures peaceful life, and also to live with human dignity. The larger question is, how far we have achieved all these over a period of time. I still remember the words of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on the floor of the Constituent Assembly when he said, I have a doubt that after this constitution is implemented, we are going to achieve a social democracy in this country. Apart from the development of various other sectors, it is very difficult to look into the achievement of social democracy. So also economic democracy. We have been discussing about the fundamental rights of every citizens of this country. We have been discussing about the sanctity of the directive principles of the state policies. But we have not been giving emphasis for the obligations which are entrusted to us, the fundamental duties which are entrusted to us. Look at the way in which the society is moving even after 75 years of constitution. Is it required to discuss and deliberate the non-achievement of social democracies in this country? If you look at Article 14 to Article 18 of the Indian Constitution, still we are talking about, we are discussing about, we are deliberating about the equality. Probably it is because of the existence of constitutional mandates of equality, constitutional mandate of liberty, constitutional mandate of justice. To some extent, we have achieved the equality, liberty, and justice. But the way in which Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his associates, when they deliberated upon the importance of constitution, when the draft was submitted, that objectives has not been achieved even today. We had to achieve such objectives. We might have brought series of changes in the relationship between the center and state, the federal structure. We might have brought many amendments which suits to the present scenario. But unless and until the constitutional objectives like equality, justice, liberties are ensured, which reaches the last man of the society, unless and until they percolate down to the common sections of the society, what is that we are all talking about? We speak about Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. We speak about Article 23 of the Indian Constitution. We talk about Article 15 and 16 of the Indian Constitution. On the other hand, even today, all these constitutional provisions, they have not been completely implemented. In the sense, what was the thought of the makers of the Indian Constitution? They had anticipated that within 10 years of the constitutional operation in this country, the scenario of a social discrimination, economic discrimination, would have been disappeared. But it has not been changed. Absolutely. Today, we are confronted with various social problems for which remedies are already available in the Constitution. We have various social problems, discriminations, inequality, injustice. Even today, women are not given complete freedom. Let us not look into the urban areas. Look at the rural areas. Even today, what is due for the women, what is due for the vulnerable sections of the society, what is due for the marginalized groups, has not reached their homes. It is unfortunate that discussions are still going on about the inequality and injustice. Now, even after 75 years of Constitution came into force, the Article 17 of the Indian Constitution is still alive. Every day, we are witnessing how there is a performance of discrimination, untouchability in a different forms. Unless and until social discrimination is removed, unless and until the social discrimination is completely abolished from the society, we cannot think of the development of this nation. Whatever may be our achievements, we have achieved a lot in the field of science and technology. We have achieved a lot in the field of engineering, medical, technology, agriculture. But when we have failed to achieve the equality among the citizens, among the people of this country, it is very difficult to live with human dignity. That is why a wider interpretation has been provided to Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. The rights which were not specifically stipulated, encapsulated in the Indian Constitution, they were identified. They were given due recognition by the judiciary in order to ensure proper implementation of the constitutional mandates. We had no right to health. We had no right to environment as a fundamental right. With the Article 21 of the Indian Constitution, in order to give effect to the constitutional mandates or preambular objectives, judiciary has extended, interpreted, and given wider meaning to Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. It is unfortunate to look at the way in which certain sections of the societies, they are still living in the state of penury, poverty. Certain sections of the society, they are kept at darkness even today. They do not know even the basic knowledge of law. They do not know even the basic rights given in the Constitution. They are kept in darkness. Maybe because of the technical problems like ignorance, illiteracy, or economic instability. But what is that we are going to do? What are our responsibilities? On the one hand, we are moving towards achieving a greater height in the science and technology, in the medical field, in agriculture, horticulture. But what about the social milieu, the social problems, which are stumbling block for the development of this country? there is a need to relook into the constitutional provisions to suit to the present scenario. That is why the provisions like Article 368 of the Indian Constitution was specifically incorporated. Constant power has been given to the Parliament to amend the provisions of the Constitution to suit the present scenario or to provide the adequate space for implementation of the constitutional values. But in spite of all these, Parliament has an inherent power to bring any amendment in order to ensure the preambular objectives, which ought to be taken down to the last man of the society. And the vulnerable sections of the society, they are anticipating something from the legal fraternity. From the legal fraternity. We all belong to the legal fraternity. They are all anticipating justice. But they have not been able to get justice because of our system. Our system is working in such a way that they are kept under darkness. They are kept outside the purview of the knowledge of law. So therefore, a question arises, whether we have we not achieved anything in the 75 years of Constitution came into force or adoption of the Constitution, or whether the Constitution has not worked at all. No, Constitution has worked. We have traveled a lot of developments have taken place. But the pillars of the Constitution of India, the edifice of the Constitution built on the premise of the pillars, four pillars: equality, liberty, justice, and fraternity. Whether they have been achieved. Millions and millions of people, even today, they are suffering from poverty. Millions and millions of people, they are just looking at the society to help them to get justice. So now time has come that we need to shoulder the responsibility to ensure dignity to these people, to ensure equality to these people. As I told you, there are a number of judgments have come. Supreme Court has given a number of judgments in which drastic changes has been made to various provisions of the Constitution. But the larger question is, are there any drastic changes have been made by the judiciary through their judgments in rectifying the social inequality in India, the social discrimination? Though we have achieved a lot in various other fields, but in the field of social inequality, social discrimination, social polarization, we yet to achieve a lot. And of course, I still remember Justice Krishna Iyer in one of his judgments in Mumbai Kamagar Sabha case. He points out that in his judgment, the mere enumeration of the fundamental rights in the Constitution of India, the mere enumeration of fundamental rights in the Constitution of India to all citizens is not suffice. Unless and until there has to be a mechanism. There has to be a mechanism to implement these fundamental rights, so that the benefit of these fundamental rights must percolate down to the last man of the society. If that is not made, if that is not achieved, then what is that we are talking about? What kind of a development we are talking about? The major issues in India, right from the Constitution adoption, 1950, January 26, till today, the major equality should be ensured, abolished, untouchability should be completely removed, and stringent laws to see that they should be implemented. We have many legislations. In every parliament session, there will be number of legislations. But the larger question is, have we achieved the preambular objectives even after 75 years? We must have made more than drastic changes in the federal ensuring public service. We must have given a liberal interpretation to various sections of the Constitution. It is the basic structure of the Constitution on which the Constitution is built. The edifice of the Constitution is built. Have we achieved that? Basic. Inside the barber shops, inside the tea shops, they are not even allowed to walk in the streets in many villages. What is that we are talking about? We are talking about equality. We are talking about justice. So there is a need to introspect. We have to get into these issues. We need to identify these issues wherever they exist and try to remedy these issues. The responsibility of the law students is more in this regard. We being the legal fraternity, the entire responsibility is on us. Be you are a student of law, teachers of law, or a judges or a jurist. Everyone should shoulder the responsibility to see that the constitutional values, the constitutional mandates should be implemented in toto. It is not part implementation. And to see that the benefits of Constitution must reach the last man. When the last man of the society will be happy, then only I can say that there is a development in this society. There is a development in this country. So in this regard, we should introspect whether have we achieved all these constitutional developments in the field of structure. We yet constitutional ideals. We speak about constitutional ideals. We speak about justice. But still injustice is going on. He is entitled to become the Prime Minister of India, the President of India, which was not available, which was not ensured prior to the Constitution came into force. And of course, that is why Constitution is it is not only just a legal document, it's really a social document. Once the social problems are resolved, then all other problems will be automatically resolved. As long as this polarization, discrimination, exploitation of women, children, the vulnerable groups, marginalized sections exist in India, so long, whatever may be the amendments are made by the legislature, either the parliament or state legislatures, will not be rectifying these discriminations. I am very happy that the 75 years, the travel of 75 years from 1950 till today, there are many changes have taken place. But the mindset of the people needs to be changed. Mindset of the people towards the others. Providing respect to the others. Accepting the other's knowledge, accepting the other's culture, that should be promoted. And the social evils like the casteism, the caste factors, discrimination, all these should be abolished. All these should be swept out. And for all these, we need to work towards for the abolition of all these social evils. I think the responsibility, as I told you, the responsibility of the legal fraternity is more rather than any other fraternity. Once you become the lawyers, once you become the judges, your responsibility is more. You can only reform the society. You can only restructure the society. You can only bring the social reformation through your arguments, through your judgments, and through your analysis and interpretation of various provisions of the Constitution. And none other persons can do all these things. That is why greater responsibility has been shouldered on us. Constitution automatically doesn't develop. It all depends upon how we look at the constitutional values, constitutional mandates, and give input to these constitutional mandates. That is how the Constitution develops. And I am sure that this 2 days international conference has brought a series of changes after discussion on various issues, from judicial activism down to contemporary challenges presented and discussed by various resource persons. I think so much of enlightenment has been provided to our students and teachers. And I hope that whatever the unique features provided by these resource persons, the observations made by resource persons are to be consolidated, and that should be sent to the appropriate authorities so that appropriate changes should be made in order to bring a drastic social change in the society. Social change for the positive purpose, not for negative. Let all of us hope to build a social change to be made and to bring about an egalitarian type of society. That was the dream of our constitutional makers, to bring about an egalitarian type of society, a society which is free from all kinds of discriminations, dominations, polarizations and all that. Let us hope to build a healthy society. Let us hope to build an egalitarian type of society, and let us also respect the constitutional mandates and the constitutional culture, being the legal fraternity. I take this opportunity to thank all the organizers of this college and the Department of Law for having conducted this 2 days conference on the Constitution of India, the march of 75 years, highlighting its important issues. I thank you one and all for your patience hearing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for putting forward certain pertinent questions before us today, which we must introspect and address as we move forward. Professor Dr. V. Vijay Kumar began his academic journey as assistant professor at the Presidency College, Madras in 1978. I think I take it as all of you who have already witnessed his session are well aware of the eminent scholar that is here with us today. I take this opportunity to welcome sir to kindly address the gathering.
Madam, my sincere apologies because I don't want to hear once again about my CV. My friend and former colleague, Dr. Baswaraj, the Vice Chancellor of KSLU, another friend of mine, Dr. Suresh Gowda, Nadagowda, Vice Chancellor and Registrar, he is holding both of them together. I don't know, I only pity him. No, even acting for a day, I know how difficult it is. I have occupied both the positions, I know what it is. Then you have Professor Dr. V. Sudesh, Mr. Ramesh Babu, the syndicate member, Dashrath, the principal, Venkatagowda, the alumnus of this college. My dear students, learned colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to everyone present here. I have taken enough time in the morning, in the afternoon session, so I will be very brief today. As in the 75 years, I was reminded of another anecdote. In 1988, I was invited by the Department of State, the United States of America, to visit them because they were celebrating their 200th anniversary of the Constitution. 200 years, first written Constitution. And I was privileged to be selected as one among the two from India by the State Department, so I went there. During the interactions, we were taken to different places, and I was also given honorary citizenship by the Minnesota state. I don't know what it is worth, but still, on July 4th, when they celebrated the 200th anniversary. At the same time, there was a senator, a black senator. I think today we can confidently use the term black, because earlier if you use black, it became scandalous. Now I think they said, no, there is nothing wrong in it. You can call black a black, right? They call us yellow. They call the Chinese yellow. They call with the different colors. That's their understanding. One black senator made a beautiful statement. What she said was very brief but very, very meaningful. When the American Constitution, I'm just repeating what she said. When the American Constitution was adopted, they forgot to include my name. They forgot to include my name. This was said at the end of the 200th year of the American Constitution. What does it mean? It meant she had become senator, no doubt about it, right? But the discrimination between not only white and black, you are mistaken. A white male and a white female, a white male and a black male, black male and black female. I think other colors I don't want to describe. I don't want to spoil your evening. So you can understand the Constitution envisions something. It takes a little bit of time to adjust. Of course, everyone would like to go to America. I only wish the Trump government does not bring that citizenship amendment, right? Which I think otherwise people going there will also stop going there, right? Okay, that's one way of looking at it. So 75 years is too short a period for India. That's number one. Number two, I look at the other aspects. You just imagine the political map of South Asia, right? India, on top Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, then Maldives. No, I'm talking only about South Asia, the SAARC countries, Pakistan and now Afghanistan. Except in Bhutan and India, Bhutan was a monarchy till recently. The king himself bequeathed his authority and said, I don't want to be a king anymore. And democracy started flourishing in Bhutan, which is of recent origin. With great pride, I can say, as an Indian, that India did not undergo the turmoil that these countries underwent over a period of time. Please just imagine, right? Some credit must be given to the Constitution, therefore, not to the rulers. not to the rulers, but to the constitution, because it held forte. When emergency was declared and all things, leaders were arrested, shifted from one place to another, it was the legal fraternity which went to the rescue. That got reflected in the election. So the process of election, I think these are all the positive aspects that we need to remember, and everyone should be taking the pride to be an Indian in that sense of the word, that 75 years of republic is really worth living, right? And 75 years hereafter is more worth living because we have seen a drastic change in the status of each and every individual, belonging to any caste, any religion or whatever it is. We will not get into that. But still the hope is always there. That is why preamble is called as the vision of the constitution. If you have achieved everything in 75 years, there is no need for the constitution, isn't it? Once you achieve it, once you realize it, there is the need for the constitution. Then we revert back to the Hobbesian state of nature, the Matsya Nyaya, where the powerful will be more powerful, they will swallow the weaker, and so on. It goes on. So please keep that in mind. G. U. Pope, at one point of time, asked, which form of government is the best government? He replied, the government which governs the least is the best form of government. Right? The government which governs the least is the best form of government. Now, philosophically, it sounded odd at that particular point of time. But today, in the reality, if you see, what is my concern about what is happening in Delhi? Do you think that any government worth the name will be in a position to manage 1.4 billion population of any country? So the best government that is why in Western countries, they attach so much of importance to the local governments, right? Because they are closer to the people. In fact, one of my colleagues, Professor Mitra, he went to US because his two sons were there. One day he went to the mall and came to the car park. And then he stopped his dad. Dad, I want to introduce you to the governor. He said, governor, okay. He introduced, sir, so-and-so is the governor. He said, which district? Because what he had in mind was Lions Club. He said, no, he's the governor of the state. Is he the governor of the state? Where is the paraphernalia? Where is that, the pilot vehicles, here, paraphernalia, security, and if president's office, then ambulance. Where is the paraphernalia? No, he was carrying his own, things that he has purchased from the mall, and he was going to the car. He was driving his own car. There ends the matter. Right? The Chief Justice of the German Supreme Court, Constitutional Court, he takes his bicycle, travels to the nearest metro, goes to another metro station, goes to the office in the cycle, changes his dress there. Right? There is no paraphernalia. So we have to now look at certain aspects through which, because the more you show that you are more powerful, the more degraded we are. Right? This culture needs to change, and that is there in your hands, not in our hands. We are in the 11th hour of our journey, but you youngsters must have that, right? And Nehru, Shastri, I don't know whether you have seen the old documentaries. They used to come in the Morris Minor open car, and the door has to be opened the other way around, not the car door that you see today. They'll just get down and walk into the crowd. Walk into the crowd. Right? And then Nehru, who is known for his wisdom, the first American president to visit India, he came, so he went to receive him at the airport. I'm telling you these anecdotes so that you understand what is there in my mind. And when he landed, he came out, he saw in the entire airport people of India standing there with two flags, one Indian, one American, and waving the flag at him. He was very happy. Mogambo khush ho gaya. He came out. He saw people standing on both sides of the road. He exited the airport. Still he saw the people all along the roads till he reached the Rashtrapati Bhavan. And when they got down, the President of US told him, "Sir, Mr. Prime Minister, you seem to be a very popular leader in this country." And Nehru said, "No, Mr. President, they have all come here to see the bulletproof car for the first time in their life." See that attitude, right? The leadership, that leadership where one has to, I have interacted with many people, they just walk into the crowd. They have no fear. And now they are alienating everyone, right? They are alienating in such a manner. We need to look at these aspects as well. And G.U. Pope's observation is what I said in the previous session. Ambedkar, the Federalist Papers of the US, former President Rajendra Prasad, Hidayatullah, they all reiterated only one aspect, which I wanted to tell you. What is that? If you think the constitution is neatly drafted, very good constitution we have given, and if it goes to the wrong hands, writing a good constitution has no meaning. On the contrary, if you have a badly written constitution, but the constitution gets into the hands of, have we selected such people? That is what we need to inspect once again. Look at the events. To conclude, I don't want to get into because I've written so many other aspects, right? All the students in this country put together, law students, I'm talking only about law students, all the law students, all the existing lawyers on record, all the judges, all the law teachers, researchers, everyone put together, I don't think will constitute even 1% of the total Indian population. Please keep this in mind. All of us put together, we will not constitute even 1%. Out of this 1%, how many of them have seen the constitution? I don't know. Forget about reading. Understanding to dur ki baat hai. Seeing, and today I am very happy that there are two great leaders in this country. One has a bigger constitution to worship, the other one has a pocket edition to show. Asking each other to read the constitution. 75 years, this is the first time I am also seeing. Right, very good. At least, there is a revolution. What is your job as students of law? This is what I thought, the moment I came here to speak, that 26th January 1950, I hope if the dean, the principal, others would like to consult me to organize series of events, go to schools and other colleges which are not law colleges, tell them about the constitution, the constitutional values, right? Constantly, it is not once in a while you just go and come back. As many colleges, as many schools that you can go, please educate your fellow brothers and sisters. If you can do that, let me tell you, they will start thinking about the rights and liberties. They will also start thinking about the duties, right? And therefore, there will be a right balance that will be struck. And if you are able to do that, the text, the values present in the text will become values in context. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for putting forward this actionable proposal before us. Shri Ramesh Babu P, Syndicate Member, Bangalore University, who has joined us today, has to leave for an urgent work in the university. And hence, before I call upon Dr. Sudesh, sir, I would request Professor Sudesh, sir, and Jagdish, sir, to kindly felicitate, sir.
ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕ್ಷಮಿಸಬೇಕು. ತುರ್ತಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಕೆಲಸದಿಂದ ವಿ ಸಿ ಜೊತೆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗಿಂದ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಯು ಎಲ್ ಸಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಯಾವುದು ಏನು ಅವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮಗೊಂದು ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದೊಂದು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಕಟ್ಟಡ ಕಟ್ಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಓನ್ಲಿ 60 ಇಂಟೇಕ್ ಇದೆ. ನಾನು ಈ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ಆಚೆ ಹೋಗೋಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮದು 120 ಇಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್.
Thank you, sir. I now request Senior Professor Dr. Suresh B. Nadagaudar, Vice Chancellor Acting and Registrar, KSRDPR University, Gadar, to kindly address the gathering.
Good evening, everyone. Respected chief guests of the program, Professor Dr. C. Basavaraju sir, an able academician and an administrator who has delivered valedictory address, another eminent scholar who is doyen of legal education, and my great well-wisher, Professor Vijay Kumar sir, my esteemed colleague, Professor V. Sudesh, who is known for his very soft and balanced approach, Dr. V. Sudesh, and my another esteemed colleague who has an approach of light but tight approach, and my good friend, senior friend, Professor Dashrath, and another dear colleague, a very dynamic chairperson, indeed, who has left no stones unturned to make this program a successful one, of course, under the guidance of our senior professors and all our faculty members, Dr. Satish Gowda, and my esteemed other colleagues, Dr. Jyoti and others, and Sri Venkate Gowda, who is present here, and my and all other members of the faculty from different institutions and participants, dear friends. After hearing two eminent scholars who are experts in the field of constitutional law, Professor Basavaraj sir and Vijay Kumar sir, virtually nothing is left for me to speak much. And also, you have been hearing and discussing in these 2 days very scintillating and brainstorming sessions by many eminent experts in the field of constitution like G.B. Reddy, Professor G.B. Reddy, Professor C.S. Patil, and Sandeep Shastri, as we could understand from a very detailed report presented by Dr. Satish Gowda in the beginning. Friends, being part of this valedictory session, I will have to speak something which I hope will be relevant. As you all well aware that India achieved independence with the most of them lawyers, eminent people from legal fraternity, and after achieving the independence under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi ji, the question arose as to whether Indians will be able to formulate their own constitution and govern themselves. These questions were raised none other than the then British officers who were handling the sovereignty of the country. And many British officers, like including Birkenhead, who was the Secretary for State of India, and also Winston Churchill. So they made very caustic remarks about the ability of the Indians. They have even gone to the extent of saying that Indians are incapable, men of inability. They have sweet tongues without any ability. Friends, as you all aware, we have proved them wrong by formulating such a beautiful constitution under the able leadership of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, consisting of many eminent people who were, majority of them were lawyers, who are from law fraternity, like the president of drafting committee, Rajendra Prasad, as well as an expert, legal expert from our own Karnataka, Sri Benegal Narsim Rao, and many such people. So we have formulated this constitution, which is considered to be a largest constitution in the world. And as it has been already stated by other speakers, that the constitution has really helped our country to progress, to attain development in various fields, be it science and technology, space technology. As you know, India has become one of the major leader in the space technology. More particularly after success of Chandrayaan-3, our image in the whole world has elevated like anything, because we have been the first country to place our lander or satellite, whatever it is, in the southern part of the moon. And of course, we have also made various strides in the science and technology, biotechnology. Other day, I had an opportunity to participate in Global Tech Summit organized at Bangalore 2024. So wherein I came to know that India has made commendable achievement in the field of the startups and all, with the new change policy of the government. And more particularly, the contribution of our Karnataka, particularly the Bangalore, is very high. Almost about 30% of the startups are in Bangalore. And we have also made significant achievement in the infrastructure development. Wherever we go, we see nice roads, bridges, then dams. Okay, and we have, to a greater extent, even achieved to improve our educational system, make people to have access to education and also higher education. So when the country achieved independence, the ratio of literacy was hardly 20%. Now we have crossed 80% on an average. Of course, with few one or two states with 100% literacy. And we have also made some achievements, of course, greater achievements, to overcome the hunger through our green revolution and Operation Flood, milk revolution. So whereby we have been able to become self-reliant, self-sufficient, to attend to the basic needs of the people. And of course, we have been trying our best to provide quality life to all citizens of the country, even the people who are living in the villages. And we also should know and understand that to make India a developed nation, we have to bring a lot of reforms, changes in the socio-economic conditions of the people who are living in the rural side, because we dream of becoming a developed nation by 2047. That's what we talk about, Viksit Bharat and all that. So India will not become Viksit Bharat, or will not be able to reach our goal unless we bring some changes, reform in certain of the areas, though the constitution has helped us to make various strides in different areas which I have just quoted before. So we need to improve the socio-economic conditions of the people who are living in the villages. And we need to implement the sustainable development goals. Of course, you had a session on that. Some of you might have attended that. So sustainable development goals are nothing but no injustice, no poverty, isn't it? Zero hunger, then equitable distribution of wealth and natural resources, justice for all. So these are the basic things, no? That's how there are parameters to assess whether a country is a developed nation or not a developed nation. So in this context, we need to introspect, and we need to attend to some of the drawbacks and deficiencies which we are suffering from. So we can give an example that we talk about access to justice under Article 39 and all that. So of course it has been already referred to. So justice for all. So justice for all means even providing quality justice, and justice within a specified period. As we all know that there is a delay in providing or rendering justice to the people, and that's how many people are fighting their litigations in the court for years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Okay, even if you take the data, more than 5.5 crores of the cases are pending. Earlier it was 3 crores, and now it has increased. And even in Karnataka, we have pendency of more than 25 lakh cases, civil half and almost criminal is half of that, including our rates and all in the courts. So if we go at this pace of disposal of the cases, it will not be sufficient to, it will not be, even 20 years or 25 years will not be sufficient to zero down the pendency. So that's why we have invented the methods of the alternative dispute resolution under the Legal Services Authorities Act, and of course recently the central government has enacted the Mediation Act of 2023, and of course to that extent Karnataka is considered to be one of the most progressive states. We have also brought many changes in the civil procedure code to overcome the delay and latches in adjudication of the cases, and more particularly what Basavaraj sir was referring to, rendering justice to the poor and needy and marginalized people. In order to address this issue, I am very happy to place before you, in the last session of the Karnataka legislature, they have brought an amendment to the civil procedure code, wherein they have mandated the courts to hear the cases of the poor, that is particularly the people belong to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and the marginalized farmers on priority, and that too they should be disposed of within 6 months. How far we will be able to achieve? Of course, it may not be achieved very immediately. It may take some time, but at least we are making an effort in that direction, so that it will be of great help to the people, because the poor people will not be in a position to withstand for long to fight a very costly litigations. So nowadays the cost of litigation has increased manifold. Okay, and also one more, a very progressive enactment has been brought. I am just bringing to your knowledge about these things, new changes which have been brought in addition to the efforts of the central government to bring many reforms in the legal system. Though the central government has enacted the Mediation Act of 2023, so wherein the mediation is made only optional. Okay, so and of course under the Civil Procedure Code 2022 2002 itself we have made some amendments. If the judge feels that the matter is eligible or likely to be decided through a ADR, it can be referred. It was a discretion of the judge. But now the amendment which has been brought in the recently concluded session at Belgaum is that in case where there is no emergent orders are required in any civil litigation, it is mandatory on the part of the judge to ask the parties to go for mediation. And mediation also there is a timeline. Within 2 months, they will have to resolve if possible. In case if it is not resolved, then again it will come back to the court. So it is no longer an option or discretion at the on the part of the judge. So that is how some progressive measures are required to be taken to fulfill the aspirations of our constitution, or what you say as the preambular promises of our constitution. And one more important thing which I would like to bring to your notice, in fact, we talk about rule of law. Rule of law is also considered as basic part of the feature of the constitution. To what extent we have been conducting our governance, because the title of the conference itself is that our governance 70 under the 75 years of the constitution. Okay, so the pending enforcement of judgments, despite fighting for 10 years, 15 years, and getting an order or a decree, the enforcement of decree has become a big problem. Again, it is taking 10 to 15 years. Then what is the use? And as per the statistics available in Karnataka, about 2,000 cases of contempt of court, because non-enforcement of decree is a contempt of court. Who will go and challenge in the court for contempt or for non-execution of the order or a decree which is passed by the court? It is only a person who is economically capable. Like that, many people who are unable to approach the court again for second round of litigation for realizing the benefits under the decree or an order, are suffering silently without getting any benefit under the decree or an order which has been passed by the court. So this is another important concern for all of us to look into very seriously, and callous attitude of the people who are in the governance, particularly in the bureaucratic system. They apply one rule for one class of people, and they negatively interpret and apply to other set of people, though they are similarly circumstanced. I can give an example, but due to paucity of time, you can just think of yourself. So of course, this is a relevant thing to discuss. When new pension scheme was introduced in 2006, they have introduced it for all, including university teachers and people who are working in boards, corporations, who are government instrumentalities. So now they have brought some order wherein they have restricted it only some benefits only to the people who are defined as civil servants. And they say now that university teachers are not civil servants. Though such benefit is given to the teachers who are working in degree colleges, who are also drawing the same UGC scale, who are also governed by same pension rules, as service rules or pension rules particularly, as the university teachers are. Then we will have to struggle. Then unnecessarily who are beneficiaries, maybe 300, 400 beneficiaries, have to go to the court. Then will it not add to the pendency? If they had not made such a discrimination, it would have given justice to all. So this is how is the approach. This is the approach which is very much against the constitutional scheme, according to me. If I am wrong, our experts may correct.
Right.
Yes, sir.
The government has used the word.
Yeah.
University teachers are not public servant,
government
servant.
Mhm.
And therefore they are excluded from the purview of
Yes,
this
sir.
scheme.
No, whether they are government servants or not, but their pension rules are same as that of the public servants. There is no discrimination in that. There is no change. There is no variation. The same Karnataka civil service rules, KCSR, is applicable to others also. Yeah, both were in the old pension. Now they are made a variation. So that's what it's of course an issue of our teachers, but just I am giving an example because one more thing is that you should please understand that almost 30 to 35% of the litigations, pending litigation, maybe it is 5.5 crores at national level or 25 lakhs in the state level. In 30 to 35% of the cases are against the government. They are all such silly matters, simple matters. Because of non-application of mind, discriminatory attitude of the people in power, all these things are happening. So, deliberate, discriminate, yes, sir. So these are some of the things which I think we should take note of. Then failure to protect labor rights and all. Of course, you had a session on that, Professor Dashrath sir, who is an eminent expert in labor law, has presided over, and he might have enlightened all of you. I don't want to elaborate on that. Then needs improvement in Panchayat Raj system, cooperative movement. Of course, after 50, 60 years of our constitution, we realize that the development of village is necessary. Developed village, developed nation. Without development of the village, it is not possible to realize development of the nation because 75% of the people lives in village. Almost 70 to 75% of the people depends on village economy, village activities, including agriculture, poultry, that is horticulture, whatever it is, allied tertiary, primary agriculture activities or secondary or tertiary agriculture activities. Of course, the economists can understand these things better. Okay, so integrated farming is what we call it as integrated farming. So we have amended the constitution. We have brought uniform system of Panchayat Raj, as I am presently working with Rural Development and Panchayat Raj University. And also we have given constitutional status to panchayat organizations and also cooperative organizations. But unfortunately, people are not taking active participation. Of course, it is because of lack of awareness, lack of knowledge, particularly lack of legal knowledge. So that is very much necessary. That's how our Vijay Kumar sir has given a call for all of us to go to the colleges, schools, and to create awareness about the law. And of course, earlier there used to be almost 60 to 70% of the legislatures who are from legal fraternity. So now it has come down to 6 to 7%. Other day, when I visited a session in the upper house, it is hardly 7 people out of 60, 65. They are from legal fraternity. And lower house, it may be 10 or 15. So, unfortunately, nowadays, you know things very well that how the elections are fought and what kind of people contest the elections. It is the money lenders, real estate people, money launderers, yeah, and real estate people who have amassed wealth legally or illegally, whatever it is. So this is how, which is foiling our whole political field, and that's why it's my request for our people from legal fraternity, wherever possible, you please take up this also as one of the field for your prosperity and development, so that you can contribute for the development of the society, because we know that many of our leaders in the freedom struggle and subsequent to the achievement of independence of the country, many people, eminent people are from legal fraternity have sacrificed a lot, including Mahatma Gandhi, Ambedkar ji, and all that. Okay, so at least to to sustain this democracy and to make it more vibrant, some of us have to take the challenges and take up that field. Public service is also one of the important areas. And of course, we need to even address the problems of unemployment, underemployment, malnutrition. So you can explain, but not necessary. You understand things. Still, we have more than 16-20% of unemployment. Many graduates, postgraduates, PhDs, they are not getting the employment suitable to their qualification. And malnutrition in India, maybe many of you may be knowing, it is 40%. Malnutrition is 40%. Okay, so that is because merely making food available is not sufficient. A food should be of nutritious quality, isn't it? So then only we can have a healthy society, a productive society. Otherwise, it is not possible. Then last point, of course, I have already dealt upon that, to improve the socio-economic conditions of the people. And of course, I brought some of the quotations of H.R. Khanna and all. It is not necessary because you have been hearing all those things in the brief from last year, from yesterday. And I don't want to bore you again by saying the same thing. So, friends, thank you very much, more particularly our Dean, Principal and Chairperson for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Of course, even if they had not given, I would have come because I am all part of this college. Because my staying away from this college is only temporary. I am a senior professor of law here. I have every right to come anytime I want to come and sit among the audience. And anyway, they have made me to sit on the dais. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Senior Professor Dr. V. Sudesh, Dean, Faculty of Law, Bangalore University, to share a few words.
Yeah, Renuka, settle down for 2 minutes. I'm not going to speak. I know. I'm sitting there, I thought, okay, if I want to get the maximum applause, my speech must be the shortest. Number 2. Since past 2 days, sir. Since past 2 days, the principal of the college and the chairman of the Department of Studies in Law have spoken the maximum, apart from the special invitees who were called upon to speak. From whatever the speeches have been made until Professor Suresh V. Nada was saying, including his speech, I am here to award marks for the title 75 years of the governance under the Constitution, practices and experiences. I don't think anyone on the dais or here off the dais will disagree with me if we can give, out of 75, we divide it to 25 to the legislature, to the executive and to the judiciary. All have scored full marks, 25. So 75 out of 70. My sincere thanks to all the speakers since yesterday, right from Justice Dikshit, Professor Venkat Rao, today's morning speakers, Professor G.B. Reddy, Professor C.S. Patil, Puneet, these international speakers, and just the second plenary session, Professor Vijay Kumar sir, Sandeep Shastri sir, and the valedictory address by our Vice Chancellor sir, KSLU Vice Chancellor Professor Baswaraju sir, and our own senior faculty, Suresh V. Nadgud. All these speeches have brought the essence in what we had to discuss. I hope and I wish all those sitting here and the others, the other room there, and those who are online will be immensely benefited. The more I delay, you will push me out of it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now request Professor Dr. N. Dashrath, Principal, University Law College, to deliver the presidential address.
For me, no claps, please. I am in the galaxy of vice chancellors, present and former. I am highly delighted to preside over this function. It's all by the blessings of Almighty, my parents, my teachers, all my well-wishers, and my dear students. Just within 1 or 2 minutes, I am going to conclude. The very first speech which was delivered by Professor Baswaraj was very enlightening, appealing. Yes, he has spoken about the actual position of the affairs in the society. There is no anything to say no about his observations. They're all real, and they should not remain to be real in the due course of time, is what the next speaker, Honorable former Vice Chancellor, a great erudite scholar, soft-spoken person, Vijay Kumar sir, has given an encouraging speech. He is very optimistic. There will be a change, and he has given a wonderful suggestion for all of us that we have to create awareness about the Constitution and its values, because Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar said, our Constitution will be fragile if the men, the people who rule us, who govern us, and the people who stay in this great country do not become mature. And Professor Baswaraj appealed with one point: we have to change the mindset. If we don't change the mindset, the others will be with upset of mind. Mindset and upset of mind should not be antithetical. So if we change the mindset, there will be no upset of mind for others who oppose discrimination and all forms of practices prohibited by law. And Professor Suresh V. Nalgowda has very beautifully narrated about the position of things as they are, and he was also very optimistic in saying the things are going to change in the near time to come. And our Professor V. Sudesh, a very great researcher and a good speaker, but for the paucity of time, he could not speak. And my young and very dynamic, aspiring young mind, Professor Satish Gauraji, very well coordinated this two-day international program, along with me, Professor Sudesh, Professor Jyoti Vishnath, in absentia, Professor Chandrakanti. We all are in a team and work like a team. And we are supported by research scholars, the guest faculty, the members of the non-teaching staff, the library staff, the sanitary staff who are involved in cleaning our premises. Every one of us has contributed in one way or the other way in making this conference a grand success. I should profusely thank the participants from different colleges, universities, autonomous universities for giving a very positive note in attending the international conference. But I was little bit feared when Professor Nalgowda said university teachers are not government servants, though no pension. Because I am going to retire just 1 year from now. For me also no pension means I have to go back again to my hometown Raichur. But then it's a very long-standing controversy. Municipal teachers are not government servants. Then Doordarshan teachers are not government servants. The Air India corporations people are not government servants. This controversy is there for a long time. But then social security for all of us, whether government or otherwise. I wish all of you a very, very bright future in organizing these type of functions. Definitely, I assure that our Honorable former Vice Chancellor's advice, Professor Vijay Kumar, that we are going to take a lead in spreading awareness in the law colleges, at least in the jurisdiction of the Bangalore University, with the support of our beloved Honorable Vice Chancellor, Karnataka State Law University, Professor Basuraju. I hope Professor Basuraju sir will give a lending support in this regard, and we will do as much what we can do. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As we come to the end of the valedictory session, it is an honor for us to felicitate the dignitaries who have joined us today. I request Sudesh sir, Dashrath sir and Satish sir to felicitate the dignitaries on the dais. Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. C. Basavaraju and Professor Dr. V. Vijay Kumar sir. I also request Satish sir, Sudesh sir and Dashrath sir to felicitate Senior Professor Dr. Suresh sir. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. I cordially invite Dr. Shobha K, Guest Faculty, University Law College, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening to respected dignitaries, esteemed speakers, distinguished guests, dear students, participants present here. As we come to the culmination of this momentous event, commemorating the two-day international conference of 75 years of governance under the Indian Constitution practices and experiences, I, Dr. Shobha K, Guest Faculty, Department of Studies in Law, Bangalore University, is honored to deliver a vote of thanks. The success of this conference lies in the collective effort and wisdom shared by all involved. For this, we are deeply grateful. First and foremost, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Valedictory Speaker, Professor Dr. C. Basvaraju, Honorable Vice Chancellor, KSLU, Hubballi, for his invaluable insights and thought-provoking addresses. Your words have enriched our understanding of milestones and challenges in India's governance journey under the Constitution. Thank you, sir. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Professor Dr. V. Vijay Kumar, former Vice Chancellor, NLIU Bhopal, Advisor and Professor of Eminent School of Law, Ramaya University of Applied Sciences, Bangalore, for vision and commitment in promoting constitutional awareness and academic excellence have inspired us. Thank you, sir. Our sincere thanks to our guests of honor, Professor Dr. Suresh V. Nadagowda, Vice Chancellor, Acting, and Registrar, KSRDPR University, Gadag. I express gratitude to our Registrar in absentia, Sheikh Latif KAS, your constant support to ULC, BUB. Today we have with us Shri Ramesh Babu in his absentia. I thank him also. I express our deepest gratitude to Senior Professor Dr. V. Sudesh, Dean Faculty of Law, Bangalore University, for sharing his expertise and perspectives on Constitution and adding depth to this discussion. We are deeply grateful for your presence, sir. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to Professor Dr. Satish Gowda, our Chief Convener and Chairman, for his visionary leadership in organizing this conference and presenting a comprehensive report of all proceedings. Your dedication have been instrumental in success of this event, sir. Thank you, sir. My gratitude to Professor Dr. N. Dashrath, Principal of University Law College, for his constant support in organizing today international seminar under PM Usha scheme. I would like to extend special thanks to Professor Dr. Jyoti Vishwanath in absentia and Professor Dr. Chandrakanti L in absentia. My heartfelt thanks to all participants, attendees, and distinguished audience members who joined us in person and virtually in this celebration of today international conferences. Your engagement and participation have made this event truly memorable. I would like to express our gratitude to all who have contributed in various ways to make this conference possible. A big thanks to faculty members, non-teaching staff, research scholars, volunteers, and students. Your hard work behind the scenes have made this event seamless. Your energy and enthusiasm have been inspirational throughout the success of this event. As we conclude, let us carry forward the insights and inspiration from this conference to continue our commitment to the values enshrined in the Constitution. Thank you one and all for being part of this significant milestone in our collective journey. Now, I kindly request you all to rise for the national anthem.
Thank you all. The paper presenters can collect their certificates after giving the feedback form to the registration desk. Thank you.